मैं आपकी तरफ कम झुक रहा हूं। Papers to be laid on the table. श्री अश्विनी कुमार चौबे।
महोदय, मैं आज की संशोधित कार्यावली में क्रम संख्या 1 पर अपने नाम के सामने सूचीबद्ध उपभोक्ता मामले, खाद्य आपूर्ति और सार्वजनिक वितरण मंत्रालय से संबंधित कागजात को सभा पटल पर प्रस्तुत करता हूं।
श्री वी मुरलीधरन।
Respected Chairman, sir, with your permission, on behalf of my colleague Sri Krishanpal ji, I rise to lay the papers listed against his name at serial number 2 in today's revised list of business.
श्री वी मुरलीधरन।
Respected Chairman, sir, with your permission, on behalf of my colleague Sri Danve Rao Sahib Dadarao ji, I rise to lay the papers listed against his name at serial number 3 in today's revised list of business.
श्री वी मुरलीधरन।
Respected Chairman, sir, with your permission, on behalf of my colleague Sadhvi Niranjan Jyoti ji, I rise to lay the papers listed against her name at serial number 4 in today's revised list of business.
डॉक्टर संजीव कुमार बाल्यान।
सभापति महोदय, आपकी अनुमति से आज राज्यसभा की संशोधित कार्यसूची में क्रम संख्या 5 पर मेरे नाम के समक्ष दर्शाए गए पत्र सदन पर रखता हूं।
श्रीमती अनुप्रिया सिंह पटेल।
Chairman, sir, with your permission, I rise to lay on the table of the House papers listed against my name at serial number 6 in the revised list of business for today.
श्री राजीव चंद्रशेखर।
Sir, I rise to lay the papers listed against my name at serial number 7 in today's revised list of business.
सुश्री शोभा कारंद लाजे।
Respected sir, I lay the paper shown as serial number 8 of the revised list of business in the Rajya Sabha on the table of the House.
श्रीमती दर्शना विक्रम जरदोश।
Respected sir, with your permission, I rise to lay on the table of the House papers mentions against my name at serial number 9, Ministry of Textile, as the today's revised list of business.
श्री सोम प्रकाश।
Respected sir, with your kind permission, I rise to lay on the table of the House paper listed against my name at serial number 10 in the revised list of business for today.
सुश्री शोभा कारंद लाजे।
Respected sir, with your permission, on behalf of my colleague Kailash Chaudhary ji, I lay the paper shown at serial number 11 of the revised list of business on the table of the House.
श्री देवू सिंह चौहान।
Honorable Chairman, sir, with your kind permission, I rise to lay on the table of the House the papers mentioned against my name at serial number 12 of today's revised list of business.
Statements by ministers. Shri V. Muralidharan.
Respected Chairman, sir, with your permission, on behalf of my colleague Sri Danve Rao Sahib Dadarao, I rise to lay the statement regarding status of implementation of recommendations, observations contained in the 16th report of the Department-related Parliamentary Standing Committee on Railways on the performance of Rail Land Development Authority.
Shri Devu Singh Chauhan.
Honorable Chairman, sir, in pursuance of the Direction 35 of the Honorable Chairman Rajya Sabha, I would like to lay a statement showing status of implementation of the recommendation observation contained in the 43rd report of Standing Committee on Communication and Information Technology on demands for grant 23-24 pertaining to Department of Telecommunication on the table of the House.
Statement regarding government business.
With your permission, sir, I rise to announce that government business during the remaining part of the 262nd session of Rajya Sabha will consist of 1. Consideration and return of the following bills as passed by Lok Sabha. 1. The appropriation number 3 Bill 2023 and 2. The appropriation number 4 Bill 2023. Second, consideration and passing of the following bills as passed by Lok Sabha. 1. The Jammu and Kashmir Reorganization Second Amendment Bill 2023 and 2. The Government of Union Territories Amendment Bill 2023. Third, consideration and passing of the following bills after they are passed by Lok Sabha. 1. The Constitution Jammu and Kashmir Scheduled Caste Order Amendment Bill 2023. to the Constitution Jammu and Kashmir Scheduled Tribes Order Amendment Bill 2023. 3. The National Capital Territory of Delhi Laws Special Provisions Second Amendment Bill 2023. 4. The Bharatiya Nyaya Sanhita 2023. The fifth, the Bharatiya Nagarik Suraksha Sanhita 2023. And sixth, the Bharatiya Sakshya Bill 2023. Fourth, consideration return of the following bills after they are passed by Lok Sabha. 1. The Central Goods and Services Tax Second Amendment Bill 2023. And the second, the Provisional Collection of Taxes Bill 2023.
Honorable members, I have received 23 notices under Rule 267 for suspension of business to discuss the serious situation arising out of breach of security in Parliament on 13 December 2023. Honorable members, I apprise the facts related to the incident to the House on 13th and 14th December 2023. The investigation in the matter is underway and it shall be taken to logical conclusion. I am unable to persuade myself to allow the notices so received. Sri Kanta and Mr. Chadda, you don't have to do like this to raise a point of order. Use your tongue. No, don't do it. Otherwise, you will start dancing also. Don't do it. Take your seat. Don't take your seat. Time for you to start learning. You are the only person who is enjoying his conviction, his sentence, giving an impression suspense would be revoked. You were convicted. You were sentenced by this House. Honorable members, nothing will go on record. बैठिए पहले मुझे What is Karnataka?
सर पहले बताएं कि कर्नाटक में किस प्रकार से इनकी सरकार लॉ एंड ऑर्डर के
Honorable members, take your seat. Take your seat. I am constrained to adjourn the House to meet at 2 p.m. today and request the Leader of the Opposition, Leader of the House and floor leaders to see me in my chamber immediately. Thank you.
मैं कम बोलने वाला आदमी। क्यों क्यों मैं कम बोलता हूं? एक सूत्र है कि जो मैंने सीख लिया है कि मौनम मूर्खस्य भूषण, ज्यादा बोलना अच्छा नहीं, वो विद्वानों का काम है। लेकिन जो हम बोले उसी के ऊपर हम न चल सके तो हमारा बोलना नुकसानकारी है।
The historic Sabarmati River in Ahmedabad, from the banks of which Gandhi led the nationalist struggle till 1928. Also on its banks, a little further away, is another historic monument, Shahi Bagh. It is today a memorial to Sardar Patel, and like all memorials and statues, a symbol of our struggle against forgetting. And yet memories cannot be lived fossilized. Today, when our public life has been marred by deep erosion of values, the time has come to take the memories of great leaders like the Sardar out of the deep freeze of museums and into our present. Safdarjung Airport, then Willingdon Airfield. The Sardar was here on the 27th of October 1947, watching a sortie start and another end, and waiting for the return of VP Menon with news from Kashmir. Kashmir was one of the 565 princely states in existence then. 565 princely states, some smaller than 5 square kilometers, but all pampered by the British and allowed to live under the illusion of being free, and given the option of joining either India, Pakistan or remaining independent. What would the new India have been like, minus the princely states and minus Pakistan? A mutilated land with its edges crumbling, its fabric ridden with innumerable holes, holes that could easily tear apart the nation to shreds. It was in the strategic interests of all concerned that this be prevented. The job of integrating these princely states into the Indian Union required great tact, diplomacy and a deep understanding of human nature. The Sardar convinced all the states to join in, with the exception of Kashmir, Junagadh and Hyderabad. Junagadh caved in, but there had to be police action before the Nizam of Hyderabad surrendered. A small town halfway between Ahmedabad and Baroda in Gujarat. It was a town of twisting streets and 25,000 people when Vallabhbhai was born here. His mother, Ladba, gave him birth in an inner room of this house belonging to her brother, Dungair Bhai, where she had come for her confinement. Vallabhbhai's childhood was spent not in Nadyar, but in Karamsad, 12 miles north, where his father Zaver Bhai tilled a 10-acre plot and owned a house. Vallabhbhai's parents had 6 children. Vallabhbhai was the 4th. It is conjectured by some that this status of being a middle child had a share in the making of his extraordinarily strong and independent personality. Zaver Bhai was burdened with debt, and his involvement in the Swaminarayan sect led him to become more and more a recluse and detached from his home. Deprived of adequate parental love, remembered last when clothes and sweets had to be shared, and first when any work needed to be done, Vallabhbhai learnt very early to fend for himself. At school, interesting character traits began to reveal themselves in the personality of little Vallabh. The Nadyad High School saw the emergence of a rebellious, mischievous but witty schoolboy who played little tricks on his teachers and regaled his friends with puns and jokes. The school register recording Vallabhbhai's name still exists. His strong, willful character and resistance to injustice, even at the cost of incurring the wrath of his teachers, earned him the names Stormy and Outlaw. Vallabhbhai's family was indifferent to his education. He could easily, like his brothers Soma and Mercy, have taken to tilling the land, but he had other plans for himself. At the age of 22, he passed his matric and later qualified as a district pleader. And then he began to save up money for his dream, to go to England for his barristership. Vallabhbhai wanted to leave for England, but it was not to be. His wife Zaverba died suddenly of an intestinal ailment at the tender age of 29 years. When he actually set out for his barristership to England, he was a man already 35 years of age. In him, a down-to-earth patidar, a widower who had saved money for it twice over, was going to England. Not a young romantic or a political anarchist. He knew he had not much time. Only a few yards away from the courts in Ahmedabad is the Gujarat Club, where many lawyers would assemble to play bridge, smoke, gossip and discuss politics. When Vallabhbhai returned from England and set up a successful practice as a criminal lawyer, he spent many evenings here playing bridge. At the club, Vallabhbhai discovered that he was quite good at bridge. The image of Vallabhbhai Patel during this time is quite unlike that to be expected of a future nationalist leader. Just across the street from the Gujarat Club was Vallabhbhai's Bhadra house. At this juncture, his interest in politics was minimal. He was scornful of the methods of the Indian nationalists, which then revolved around either making petitions or throwing bombs. And then in 1915, an event of staggering importance took place. Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi arrived on the Indian national scene from South Africa with his new weapon of the Satyagraha. Vallabhbhai greeted this news with skepticism. One day when Gandhi arrived in the Gujarat Club to address a meeting, Vallabhbhai talked of him from his bridge table with great sarcasm and made everybody laugh. However, destiny had planned otherwise. Vallabhbhai, like many others, would soon be irrevocably drawn into Gandhi's magnetic field, never to return to his earlier life. It was to this waiting spirit in Vallabhbhai that Gandhi showed the way. Armed struggle rarely led to the arms being laid down after the struggle was won. Gandhi appeared onto the national scene with a new weapon, that of Satyagraha, or non-violent resistance to oppression. The method had already proved effective in Champaran. Vallabhbhai, the man of action, was impressed. He joined the Kheda and Nagpur flag satyagrahas as Gandhi's lieutenant, and in the days spent by his side, he silently observed Gandhi's methods. Thus began a 30-year relationship between Gandhi and Vallabhbhai, which was to have such a significant impact on the struggle for Indian independence. Vallabhbhai's house in the Swaraj Ashram in Bardoli. Even long after the Bardoli struggle was won, the house and the Swaraj Ashram continued to be the center of political activity in Gujarat. an old Haveli in Bardoli. These quiet houses and lanes were mute witness to the classic experiment in Satyagraha that was carried out here in 1928 under the leadership of Vallabhbhai Patel. The British government had increased the tax on land. When all appeals to bring it down fell on deaf ears, the men and women of Bardoli launched a movement of complete non-cooperation. No barber would shave government servants, no carriage would carry them, and drums would be played when a government official entered the village, warning the villagers, and the streets would immediately become deserted. When the people refused to pay the land tax, their land was forfeited and cattle seized. The people of Bardoli remained firm and drew inspiration from Vallabhbhai, whom they fondly referred to as their Sardar. With the success of Bardoli, Vallabhbhai, the hero of the hour, was the natural choice for the presidentship at the annual Congress session at Lahore in 1929. Yet, Gandhi preferred Jawaharlal, and bowing to Gandhi's wishes, Patel withdrew. The Lahore session was historic because for the first time, Congress made complete independence its main goal and unfurled the tricolour on the banks of the river Ravi. Often, while recounting the story of the national movement, what takes center stage are the more dramatic and tangible events like campaigns, agitations, marches. And the stage was now set for one more nationwide campaign, and this time a decisive one, the historic Quit India movement. Preempting the movement, the British arrested all the major national leaders in a single sweep, and the Sardar found himself along with Nehru, Azad, Kriplani and others in the Ahmednagar jail. In the nearly 30 months that he spent here, he had to confront an uncertain future, indifferent health, and the fact that at 68 he had very little time left. Vallabhbhai and Maniben had an extraordinary relationship, rare between a father and a daughter. She lived with the Sardar, looked after him, travelled with him, regulated his appointments, and maintained a detailed diary of his movements and meetings. From 1927 onwards, she even spun all the yarn that covered his body.
Long years ago, we made a tryst with destiny, and now the time comes.
Freedom came at midnight on the 15th of August 1947.
Only or in full measure, but very substantially. At the stroke of the midnight hour, when the world sleeps, India will awake to life and freedom.
Sardar Patel, who had contributed so much to the struggle for independence, did not speak on the occasion. Power had changed hands.